Now this aquarium has been here for about 35 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really awesome. That's a very good life for a fish tank. Also with the fish tank, as the fish tank gets older, it's really important not to move the tank because the silicon gets very brittle, and if it's in that same spot it can stay for a very long time without leaking. 35 years is very good, but then if you move it to another spot, that's when it's likely to leak.
Right.
So this tank's actually double-sided, so you can clean that up and enjoy it from both sides. Very cool. So now I'm doing a gravel clean, and I'm getting plenty of waste out of the gravel, like this. So I'm going to drain all the water out because we're starting again, and I'm going to recommend some tropical fish to go in here. I would say some catfish, some mollies, maybe like a kissinguami. You know, there's lots of nice community tropical fish that we could put in here. So we've got a hang-on filter here. It's really important that's filled up with water before we turn it on.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to add some polyfilter into the filter, which is right there now. The polyfilter will adsorb and absorb anything impure out of the water. And then eventually it will turn to black. So when you look over here and you see this black, then that means this needs to be replaced.
Both or
yeah, just the white bit on top. So there's two lots of white on top. So if that gets replaced, then you'll find that your tank will stay super clean. Now I'm just trying to give these a bit of a clean up. But if you want these clean, what you've really got to do is leave them in the sun for a day, and then flip them over, leave them in the sun for a day, because the sun will dry up the algae. So a couple of nice tall fake plant there just to hide the stuff on the outside. Maybe a couple of very short ones that look nice there. I've added some KH and some GH ready for the fish, and then when a water sample is taken down to the shop, once the tank is 25 degrees, and so there's a light, when that light turns out, because there's a light on the heater, when that light turns out, it probably means the tank's gone to 25 degrees. And then we just check it on the thermometer, and then we can come down and we add about 4 fish, maybe.
That's set at 25.
Correct, yeah, 26, yeah. And then, so I'd get about 4 top dwellers, like say four mollies. I'd leave them there for about 2 weeks. Then I'd get some mid-dwelling fish, whether they be something like kissinguamis or some harlequin rasboras. There's a whole lot of fish you could select for middle dwellers. So a top dweller is a fish where its mouth opens up. I'd get about 4 of them to get started. Then I'd get about 6 mid-dwellers once I have got those ones settled in. Then a couple of weeks after the mid-dwellers, I'd then get bottom dwellers. So I'd want some scavenging fish like corridors, and I'd want some algae-eating fish like bristlenose. And so that way you've got a nice spread of fish, top, middle and bottom dwellers. Now every single time you add water to your aquarium, I'm going to ask that some water agent get added to the new water, because we don't want chlorinated water getting into the aquarium, because chlorinated water is going to kill off any good bacteria that forms in the filter. I'm also going to ask that whenever the filter is cleaned, it needs to be cleaned in water drained out of the fish tank, not taken out of the tap, because we don't want to be damaging the bacteria. And then the water that you clean the filter with is wonderful for the garden. And algae magnets are really, really convenient. This one is super old, but there's some really good new ones like the flippers. And the flippers are like a little razor blade, and they do a wonderful job. They're really worth the money. So we only want about 4 fish at a time going into this tank, and we want a sample of water and a video before any new fish are added. And any time that new fish are added, we want to not feed the fish for a couple of days. Then when we do feed the fish, we want the fish to eat all the food in 30 seconds. So the food that we've got here, Spectrum, that's a very good food. I'm very happy to see that. And then the wafers are quite good as well. So if you put, say, 1 wafer in for any scavenging fish when you've got the bottom dwellers, and then if you just feed this one, There's only a little bit left, but it still should last for a while. And you want to see all the fish eaten all the food eaten in 30 seconds. And I want to see the fish's belly. When you look at their bellies, I want to see the belly just go down a little bit. I don't want it coming up, and I don't want it big and fat. Now your heater is, yep, that's cool. It's still heating. That's all good.